We start at 5 by continuing to follow the breaking news out of Berthoud, where crews have been working to put out a grass fire that's being driven by the high winds we've seen today.
Yeah, the fire is burning near West County Road 8, not far from Carter Lake. In the last 30 minutes or so, we learned mandatory evacuations have been lifted for homes just west of Berthoud. 9 News Northern Colorado reporter Amanda Gilbert's been out there for us all afternoon at the scene. And Amanda, you certainly have felt the wind, and tell us what you know about the fire itself.
Yeah, you can probably notice the wind looking at my hair, but I did actually just get an update from firefighters not too long ago. They say the fire is now 100% contained, and they believe it was about 30 acres. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see that smoke kind of still rising behind this neighborhood just west of Berthoud. It's still very windy out here, so you might see the camera shake quite a bit. We still have first responders on scene, but an update, we do know that the smoke has died down a lot in the past 2 hours. We know this fire started around 1:45 this afternoon. This is not far from Carter Lake. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office says that no one was injured, but one house was damaged. I'm told that the fire actually started near this home. There's some power lines near that house that also burned, so a significant amount of damage right there, but otherwise no other structures have been impacted. We do know there was both mandatory and voluntary evacuations. All of those have now been lifted. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but again, things have died down a lot in the last 30 minutes. Again, no one injured. So one other thing I want to mention, they were evacuating large animals earlier. I saw some horses being moved. Those animals are now being returned to their areas. Reporting live near Berthoud, Amanda Gilbert, 9 News.
It's encouraging news, Amanda. Thank you. Aurora firefighters have also had their hands full today. They say they got this fire on Kewanee Street near Blackstone Country Club under control. It only grew to about 3 acres in size before crews were able to contain it. Aurora Fire says they also put out a vegetation fire that had started inside Jewel Wetlands Park. That fire was only about 2 acres as well.
That the sound for people this morning living in Boulder. The National Weather Service says Boulder had some of the strongest gusts in the state, over 80 miles an hour. At one point, power was knocked out for more than 5,000 people. As we look live outside, things have started to calm down a little bit outside the 9 News studios at Spear and Logan. The wind is still blowing, just not as strong. That wind, along with much warmer than average temperatures, has certainly created high fire danger. And we're still up around 70, Kathy.
I know, unbelievable, right? The average high is actually 57. The record today is 76. I think so far I've seen 73 for a high. You factor the heat and the wind and the humidity values as low as, well, the single digits and teens, and we have critical fire weather scenario playing out across Colorado, at least for a few more hours. We do expect the winds to come down a little bit after sunset tonight, but the winds will return tomorrow ahead of a system that will bring some moisture to the state, but will it be enough? This is going to be a fast-moving system that may bring a brief rain or snow shower to the front range. Is really going to be the elevated terrain that see the greatest chance of seeing precipitation that would actually make a difference. Fire weather warning, red flag warning out until 7 o'clock tonight. We see those clouds coming in, the gusty winds kind of pushing the haze around out there. Temperatures running way above average, and this will be a trend for only today because we actually have cooler weather and some snow already falling, as we can see on our radar. But it's tomorrow when we have the winter weather and travel advisories out for the mountains and blowing snow with the winter storm watch east of Lyman and Carville for really difficult driving out that way. Skies will clear, winds come down in Denver, and then tomorrow winds increase, clouds increase, mountain snow, and if we're lucky, maybe a rain shower mixing with snow. Much more on the timing and impact of this next weather change, you guys, coming up.
A man who killed a Denver police officer is trying to shave decades off his 80-year prison sentence. Raul Gomez Garcia gunned down Detective Donnie Young in 2005.
He is now eligible for a program that is aimed at giving a second chance to some people who committed very serious crimes before they turned 21 years old. Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates is with us now. And Kevin, you had a chance to speak with the DA who had prosecuted this killer. Let's get an idea of what he had to say.
Tom and Kim, he believes legislators made a big mistake enacting this law, and he's vocally opposed to any early release for Raul Gomez Garcia.
You couldn't have gotten another person in probably the largest church, certainly in Denver, probably in the state of Colorado.
Former Denver District Attorney Mitch Morrissey has never forgotten.
We gather today.
Not the funeral for police detective Donnie Young, not the procession afterward, not a moment he witnessed along the way.
There were little kids, shoulder to shoulder, the entire 2-block playground. And as we went by, they saluted.
2 decades later, Morrissey is fighting a bid for leniency from the man who killed Young and shot and wounded his partner.
This is a man that bushwhacked, ambushed 2 Denver police officers in uniform. He came up from behind and he emptied his gun on them.
After shooting Young and Detective Jack Bishop at a baptismal party, Raul Gomez Garcia fled to Mexico. The government there allowed his extradition only after Morrissey agreed to take first-degree murder and the possibility of either a life sentence or the death penalty off the table.
Yeah, it was a compromised case from the beginning because of what we were forced to do to get him back here to face justice.
Sentenced to 80 years, Gomez Garcia has applied for a program that could make him eligible for parole in 3 years. Morrissey is trying to stop that from happening.
He got his leniency. We gave it to him at the front end.
It's up to the head of the Colorado Department of Corrections to decide whether to grant Gomez Garcia's request to get into this program. If he agrees, Gomez Garcia could be eligible for parole in 3 years. Members of Donnie Young's family and the officer injured in this incident are expected to speak Tuesday morning at a press conference organized by the Police Protective Association. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
It's a matter of this program still being measured, though, Kevin. Have we had any results so far as to how this program has worked?
Tom, we're only a couple of years into it, and we have not been able to track down anyone yet that's gone through it recently, so that remains to be seen.
All right, Kevin Vaughn in the newsroom, thanks. Today, Denver City Council is considering an arrangement with the Downtown Denver Partnership, trying to draw people back to the 16th Street Mall once it fully reopens this summer. The city and the partnership are asking for nearly $2 million to put on live music events, street markets, and enhanced security measures. The city says the mall's experienced a 35% decrease in tax revenue since the pandemic, and that's resulted in a $45 million loss.